Howdy there, the name's Dalen. This marks the second episode in the Lessons in Perception series, in which I attempt to help you get better game smarts. Today we'll be analyzing a failed defuse plan, what I did right, what I did wrong, and what caused me to lose the round. This is Lessons in Perception 2, Space and Time. The main point of this video is analyzing the post plant in this clip, but I will be going in depth about the rest of the clip too. As per usual, I'll let the clip play before I get into the analysis. If you'd like to skip ahead to the analysis, a timestamp is on the screen right now.
This is me. Because I saw him on the northeast side of the map, and then he was in my southeast spawn.
Excuse me, Doc. You killed Ocean, and I'm here to. Oh, I can't make that.
And it doesn't matter how much damage I do, because he just heals it back up.
I'm too bad at the game to make these shots. Yeah, honestly.
You must recover the diffuser. The diffuser is
Hate
being
my
recovered.
life. No! Did I get one?
She just shot the teammate.
Okay.
Are you looking for launch pads?
What do we have here? Practically
Will we find it?
Let's see.
Go, Christian. Do that.
Good night.
Mira is on a site, from what we know. What?
Mira dead, Lolix.
Oh, is she not dead? What?
I don't know, I have 4 health.
Down to one friendly. The diffuser is no longer in your possession. The diffuser is now secured.
I killed him.
I would footprint scan him 100%.
The thing's low.
First I gotta find footprints though.
Slap his ass, me. Clap him.
Check
Clap
closer.
his cheeks. Clap his cheeks.
Seconds. 10 seconds remaining. You located a bomb. 5 seconds remaining. Diffuser is active, protected at all costs.
Drone ready.
Somebody watch this drone.
They're on it. They're not defusing. They're trying to find you.
He's looking around B site.
He's looking around it. Okay, he's defusing.
Diffusing. On
Right in
ping.
the doorway.
Oh my god.
This northeast.
Now secured.
You're northeast.
Proceed to
Yeah.
bomb's location and defuse it. Drop
I'm sorry, I didn't mean it.
The diffuser has been secured.
The first thing you'll notice is that Doc goes for a delayed spawn peek about 10 seconds into the round. This immediately sets the pace of the round, and we're all on high alert for runouts. Given that Doc went for a runout, I'll assume that both Doc and Rook are ACOG warriors, and they will be holding long angles and being very aggressive with their ACOG. This means they'll have to play very cautiously if I want to win this round. Here's an example of what my team could have done better this round. As you can see in the top right hand corner, there's a default camera that's still sitting and is watching the terrace where 3 of us are currently. 2 of my teammates arrived there before I did, and they should have taken out the camera first. And especially when you've got aggressive defenders who like to go for runouts, it is crucial to eliminate any intel they might have about where you're attacking from.
And still undetected. That's what confuses me.
Here's my first mistake this round. The purpose of shotgunning this window open is to create large peek holes from which I can surprise any defenders who might be roaming in the hallway. By delaying my peek on the window, I give defenders time to reposition, call out the window is broken, and rotate around, which defeats the purpose of shotgunning it open.
Ocean, and I'm here to oh.
This is a good example of a smart thing I did this round. As soon as I see her move to engage and hear her getting fired at, I move in behind her so that if she dies, I can trade out the kill. After Hibana kills the person in Central Stairs Hall, I know that anybody who's roaming by Tower Hallway or the courtyard will try to get a flank through Museum. Knowing this, and assuming that Hibana will watch if anybody tries to get a refrag from Central Stairs Hall, I know that the only other direction a flank can come is from the Museum. Nobody ends up flanking through Museum, but it was a smart play to watch for this flank. The next crucial thing that happens this round is that Hibana gives me the Defuser. Since she's giving me the Defuser, I can assume that she's going to try and push, and she doesn't want the Defuser to be stuck in the open should she die. This is a smart play from the Hibana to at least drop the Defuser before pushing in, but it now places responsibility on me to take care of the Defuser since she motions for me to pick it up.
No! Did I get one?
She just shot the teammate.
What I just did there was stupid. There's so many things wrong in this clip that it's going to take a fat minute for me to break it down for you. First off, we see the aggro Doc peek my teammate while he's outside. This should indicate to me that Doc is not only very close, but might actually go for a run out since he killed my teammate while he was outside. That means that Doc is watching this doorway. Because I know that this aggro Doc is watching this doorway and might be going for a run out, going up to the doorway for one is stupid, especially with the Defuser. If he's to run out and kill me, he now knows I have Defuser very close by the doorway. They can watch from the window behind me and cut off any rotation to the Defuser, and that's round over. Also, I turn on my Jackal ability. That is so incredibly stupid. If you didn't know, when you get shot while using Jackal's ability, it causes the screen to greatly fuzz up. This makes it harder to see, harder to land your shots, and more likely that you're gonna die if you get tagged while you have the visor on. So in short, approaching the aggro Doc with my visor up and the Defuser is an incredibly unstrategic move, and I should not have done it, straight up. I should have found an alternative route to push, should have droned out, should have done anything other than what I just did. Now, what should have been an incredibly stupid move that should have got me killed does not get me killed, because the Mira shoots the Doc. Whether it was an intentional team kill or not, this now puts me in a position where I know the aggro Doc is gone. I know that the Mira shot him, the Mira's nearby, and the Mira has a shotgun instead of the incredibly powerful Vector. After I've held this angle for a few seconds to ensure that Mira won't re-peek, I then proceed to look for footsteps. This is a good move because it allows me to Jackal tag Mira. Now, seeing this next ping, I know that Mira is rotating to B site, and she might actually be prepping to run out into the hallway. Knowing this, I push down the hallway carefully, and I aim down my sights to make sure I don't get caught off guard.
Mira is on A site, from what we know.
Once I hear those footsteps getting closer and closer to the door, I know that Mira is going to push me. There is no doubt in my mind that she's going to try and peek me.
What?
Mira dead, Lola.
Oh, is she not dead? What?
I don't know, I have 4 health. Now, this gunfight was actually fairly well executed. I do have 2 criticisms for myself, though. One was, once I see her moving, I should drop the Defuser. I want to leave it as far away as possible, because if I die, I don't want it to be in a doorway where she can see me. Number 2, I know Mira has a shotgun. I know she's using this shotgun. I know she's memeing with this shotgun because she's killed my teammates earlier with it. Knowing this, I should move farther away from the doorway. Plain and simple, shotgun effectiveness dramatically decreases as range increases. Now, what I did right in this gunfight was preserving my ammo while still being able to pre-fire the door at the correct times. You'll notice that each time Mira peeks, I'm able to tag her at least once. My pre-firing does seem kind of random in this clip, but I assure you there is a method to the madness. The reason that I space out my pre-fires is, number 1, to conserve ammo. That is the number 1 reason I space it out. But the reason I space it out the way I do is because I know how often Mira is going to peek. If you have a good idea of how fast an operator moves simply by looking at them move, then you'll have a pretty good idea of how often they're going to peek. Because most players will peek, then put their body all the way behind cover, then peek again. Knowing how fast Mira moves and how long it will take her to go completely behind cover and then re-peek, I'm able to pre-fire at the correct time so that I can make sure that I'm at least tagging her if she comes out. Right here, I know the smoke is pretty far away because I heard his gunshots and they were fairly faint. This gives me a good enough reason to believe that I'm safe for now, and I try to use the Jackal gadget to spot his footprints. Unfortunately, I don't see any.
The diffuser is now secured.
I killed him.
What I do here is mind-bogglingly frustrating. The reason why it is that if I want to take out this camera, I should have done so from the other side of this hallway. I should have gone over to the right side, and I should have just killed the camera while I was on the right side of the hallway before I moved across. I don't understand why I would try and move and shoot this camera like this. If anything, I should be pre-firing A site, because this is a fairly common angle for defenders to hold from the back left corner of A site.
I would footprint scan him 100%.
The thing's low.
First, I gotta find footprints though.
Slap his ass, man. Clap him.
Check
Clap
closer.
his cheeks.
Now right here, I can hear him moving right ahead of me. This is a situation in which as soon as you hear that, you ADS, because you don't know what's gonna come around that corner. Thankfully, it turns out he was moving into A site, and you can actually hear him moving through the drone hole. I now know that he's in A site, and that B site should be clear, although I do need to watch out for any rotation holes. I had toggled my Jackal ability on and off to look for footprints, and at this point I'm in a highly alerted state. I'm trying to be as quiet as possible to not give away my position, as well as try and figure out where the smoke is hiding. At this point, with about half a minute left on the clock, I'm trying to go for the kill, not the diffuser plant. I still have plenty of time, and this isn't a high pressure situation. At this point, I've been looking in this room for a long time, and I've found no indication of where smoke might be. I want to ask you, what would you do here? Say, would you use your drone that you still have one of? Because that's what I should have done. I still have a drone left. I could have tossed it far and away where he wouldn't hear me throw it down, and then I could have droned out the room easy peasy. Here I pull up my Jackal visor to look for footprints so I can see if he's been in the room recently. I assume if there are no footsteps, then he's not in the room, or at least hasn't been in recently.
15 seconds. 10 seconds remaining. You located a bomb. 5 seconds remaining.
I'm running low on time, so I'll try and condense what I just did here. I prone in through the barbed wire because theoretically it makes less noise because the rustles are farther apart. The reason I plant the position I do is so that I can watch it from outside the room. After I plant, I run away so that I can watch the diffuser with my drone, as I'm on low health and can't risk exposing myself.
Drone ready.
Somebody watch this drone. As you just heard, I asked my teammates to watch my drone so that I can be moving around while someone is watching the drone.
They're on it. They're not defusing. They're trying to find you.
He's looking around B site.
He's looking around it. Okay, he's defusing.
Diffusing.
As you can hear, I get the diffusing call from my teammates, letting me know that the smoke is starting to defuse the bomb. What I should do is I should ask them to tell me if he falls off. Not to tell me that he's still diffusing, but to tell me if he falls off, so that I can still hear while giving me useful calls. Now let's get into some diffuse theory. My general principle is go on 3. As a defender, disabling the diffuser takes 7 seconds, with 4 audio cues throughout the disabling process. 1 audio cue occurs at the beginning and 1 audio cue occurs at the end. There are 2 in between, and these 2 provide crucial intel about whether a defender is planning on sticking or abandoning the defuse. 4 audio cues over 7 seconds gives us a space of 1.75 seconds between each diffuse cue. This means that if you hear diffuse cues that are about 2 seconds apart, then the defender is sticking the defuse. Knowing this, when is a good time to peek? The way I see it, you should peek right after the 3rd audio cue. Generally speaking, after the 3rd audio cue, defenders are pretty likely to stick it. I know that after the 3rd audio cue, I will 99% of the time stick the defuse, unless it's right at the beginning of the defuse cycle and I have plenty of time to defuse the bomb again, should I fall off. Knowing that people are likely to stick after the 3rd cue is a good time to peek. Generally, fakes happen between the first and second defuse, where they'll try and bait the attacker back by holding between the first and second, and then falling off to try and kill the attacker. It's very rare that you see defenders stick it as long as the third Q, because that leaves them exposed for the longest time. It's for these reasons that I think you should peek on the third audio cue.
On
Right in
ping.
the doorway.
Oh my god. Unfortunately, what ends up happening here is that the first audio cue doesn't register in my brain like it should have. When I hear they're defusing, my reaction should be, okay, that means that the first audio cue just happened. But since Ocean talked over it, it doesn't register in my head that the first defuse cue has already happened. Because of this, the second defuse cue becomes the first in my mind, which means that the fourth and final audio cue, on which the defender defuses the bomb, registers as the third defuse cue in my head. So I peek on the fourth and final defuse cue in which they defuse the bomb, instead of what I thought was the third defuse cue. Going forward, how you and I can learn from this is when someone says they're defusing the bomb, treat it as the first audio cue, not the first time you hear the audio cue. With all that said, thank you guys for watching the video. If you think videos like this can help you improve at Rainbow Six, make sure you drop a subscribe. The next Lessons in Perception video will probably be up in a month, as I'm currently working on 2 montages, one for Rocket League and one for Rainbow Six Siege. Have a good one, guys.